What's up guys, CJ here and welcome back to another all-new Hybrid News Now. Got a little bit of news for you today. First up, a Suicide Squad lawsuit in the works, then our first look at the Webhead's web shooters for Spider-Man Homecoming, and finally, new details on when the Flash solo movie will begin production. But first, let's talk litigation. That's right, a new lawsuit concerning the movie Suicide Squad, which just debuted in theaters last weekend, is making the rounds, but I promise you, it's not what you think. No, it's not a copyright case or a plagiarism case or even Ayer suing to get out of his contract with WB. No, it's stranger than all of those things. One disgruntled fan is planning on and actually going ahead with suing Warner Brothers and DC Entertainment for false advertising over the movie. That fan would be Reddit user Black Panther 2016, who posted his plans in Reddit's r/movies and is claiming that the studio misled fans to make a profit. Specifically, the case is about scenes from the trailers that didn't make it into the final cut of the movie. BP2K16 cites the slew of Joker scenes that we know got cut, as well as a couple of Katana scenes, and claims that those were the main reasons why he wanted to see the film. He's only seeking to cover the cost of a refund for his ticket, emotional damages for being laughed out of the theater when he originally asked for a refund, and then the cost of his travel from Scotland to London to see the film, which honestly kind of confuses me as I have heard that there are theaters in Scotland. He did go on to later edit his post to clarify that the reason why he wants the travel covered and why he traveled from Scotland to London is that he paid a lot of money to secure a ticket to the film's London premiere. And believe it or not, I'm actually very interested in following this case, and not only because it's actually very, very funny. This is actually a surprisingly growing trend in Hollywood to show scenes in trailers that aren't going to make it into the cut of the movie. It's a conversation for a different time whether they were planning on that or whether they didn't know the scenes were going to get cut when they shot the trailers, which is probably more likely the case, but Suicide Squad did that way more than most, and for a full list of the deleted scenes, check out the video that we made on just that to see just how much was cut, and spoiler alert, it's a lot. But it is a reasonable question that bears entertaining in my humble and honest opinion. Is it alright for studios to draw people in with the promise of certain scenes, only to reserve them for a separate ultimate cut of the film that you have to pay to see? Some really interesting rulings could come out of this case, like maybe, for example, film studios will be forced in the future to only use scenes from the theatrical cut in trailers, which would probably cut down on the number of trailers in general. Or maybe at the least they'll be forced to add to trailers a disclaimer that scenes shown might not be in the final cut. That is, of course, unless he's immediately laughed out of the courtroom, which honestly I do expect to be the case, but I hope it's not. I hope they hear what he has to say, because in this case there are a lot of people that are just upset as he is. Anyways, we'll keep you updated on this case as news breaks, and it should break pretty soon because the case is scheduled to first be heard in just 2 days on the 11th. But I want to hear from you guys. Comment questions of the day. Do you think Black Panther 2016 has a case? Do you agree with him? And what do you expect to happen? On to our next story. In substantially less Judge Judy-esque news, we have our first look at Spidey's new web shooters for Spider-Man Homecoming. Quick reminder that we of course cannot post set photos for fear of studio retaliation, but we have linked to them in the description below, so check them out for yourselves and maybe listen along. Now, these web shooters are definitely similar to what Tom Holland's Spidey sported in Civil War, but they seem a bit bigger, and they also seem to more match the design of the suit rather than looking like more of just an add-on. We also got word about a week back that Peter might have done some tinkering with the new web shooters that Stark provided to allow them to shoot different types of webs, among other new features. He's also still got the web fluid cartridges lined up on his belt, but honestly the one thing I want to see out of the new movie is Spidey getting himself into a situation where he runs out of fluid and he has to get out of it with his other abilities. So let me know what you think about Spidey's new shooters, but in our last story of the day, we finally know when the Flash solo film will begin production. According to OnLocationVacations.com, a site dedicated to TV and movie filming locations, the film will begin production in January of 2017, just a little over a year before the film's set to debut in March of 2018. And if you're wondering where you might get a look at Ezra Miller during filming, OLV reports that the bulk of production will take place in London, following the trend set by Justice League and Wonder Woman. In the article, there's also some great info about how the Flash cameo in Suicide Squad came to be, so I think it's definitely worth a read. Let me know what you think about all that and all of our stories today in the comment section down below. But that's going to bring us to the end of another H&N. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to smash that like if you like what you saw, subscribe for more great content every single day, and consider supporting us on Patreon for access to all sorts of exclusive goodies like audio commentaries and early access to episodes of CBVS. Signing off, this is CJ, and I'll see you next time.